Welcome back, everybody, to a little bit of a Roadkill Extra. This is going to be more of a behind the scenes of the next episode, because the Rotsun is fantastically in the next episode for Roadkill. We're putting it up against the JDM Dream V6, which will hopefully be getting its own video soon, because I'm probably going to end up reworking that car, because after the track test here, it didn't do so well. But for the Rotsun here, if you remember, this thing had some issues. It went from not having an engine to having an engine, the transmission not shifting, and the engine being bad, and the turbo not working, to having a 5.5 liter V8 that lit the car on fire. But now it actually has a decent motor here. So what I've done to make the Rotsun a little bit better is that we put a 2.8 liter i6, which is working wonders on the car. There's no exhaust. We cut that off entirely. We left the stock turbo on the Rotsun for a reason, and that's because that the race turbo was way too overpowered for the thing. Way too overpowered that the thing would constantly just rip tire all the way down the street. We put a high performance radiator because this engine is creating a lot of heat, and it has a manual race 6-speed in it. And that's all the perfect recipe for the Rotsun. We kept the oil cooler because we need that so then the car doesn't overheat as fast. Basically from the fire, the whole interior was kind of redone, so the Rotsun now has like nice interior except for the doors. We left them out. Still is missing its teeth. We're gonna give it a bumper soon. I just don't know when. It might get a spoiler too. We might take the hitch off of the Rotsun, and it might be getting a more powerful engine eventually. We're not entirely sure. And maybe a little bit of a cleanup, because the thing is a little dirty, and the door was stolen. We don't know what happened or ever happened to the door of the Rotsun. Just it was in the lot one day, and there was no door, so we found a 200BX door that was discolored. Now, originally, this car was going to go up against 200 Days or Nights, I think the car was called, but that was completely out of the question by the time the Rotsun had the 5.5 liter V8 in it. We weren't actually able to do that, and that opportunity was basically blown out of proportion. We could have done it this episode, but I decided, you know what, maybe putting two junkyard Japanese like junkers pretty much up against each other would be kind of interesting, because the Rotsun being based off of the 240SX in real life, and the Pessima based off of either an old Mitsubishi, I think, or an old Subaru. I don't exactly remember what that's based off of. I'm not sure, but pretty much both of them, they're both Asian sports cars. The Rotsun being a two-door sedan, and the other one being a coupe. Or I think the Rotsun's a coupe. The other one's a four-door sedan. So very interesting. This thing's got to get over to the drag strip now. We're gonna do the drag test, and then this thing's also gonna go over a road course, which I'm not very excited for, because the Rotsun's probably gonna do terribly in the road course. But if it can win the drag strip, the road course won't even really matter.